Hi everyone, I'm Chef Tucker, and today I want to show you guys how to do a nice, simple, easy weeknight meal that's a classic beef stroganoff. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to need to do is get a pan, get it hot, get a little bit of oil in it, just a little bit, and get some beef in it. Now what beef you use is completely up to you. You can use ground beef, you can use ground turkey, if you feel. I tend to go for either kind of like a shredded beef or more of a cube beef like you'd use in a vegetable soup or vegetable stew. But that's just me. You guys make it your own. You make it how you want. And while it's in there, we're going to just go ahead and season with some salt and pepper. Now while that's going, we're going to go ahead and get the rest of our stuff in order, our mise en place, if you will. We've got onion, garlic, and some thyme. And one of the things I love about weeknight meals is while your meat's cooking or browning, you have plenty of time to get everything else ready. It just makes it a lot easier than doing all the prep and then putting it all together. Now, in restaurants, you'd want to do that just because you'd want everything to be ready to go by the time service starts because you don't know what to expect. But here, I found it much easier if you can have one thing going, and while it's going, everything else is being handled, prepped, and made. Now, since this dish is relatively versatile-ish, you can mess around with some of the herbs in there. I've seen it with garlic. I've seen it without garlic. I like garlic, so it's getting garlic this time. Thyme, rosemary, whatever you want to make it versatile, it's you. Thyme and garlic are two of my favorites, so I've put those in a lot of my dishes, but just something for you guys to think about. We got our mushrooms. Now that our meat is browned, and it doesn't have to have a hard char on it or anything because this is more of a braising dish in the first place, we're going to add our onion, garlic, and thyme. Let that get in there. Start working. All right, next thing we're going to add in is some butter. All right, now once our butter is completely melted, we're going to go ahead and add our mushrooms to it. And we're just going to go until those are cooked down. All right, once our mushrooms have cooked down, we're going to hit it with some flour. And all we're doing is we're creating a pan roux just by coating everything in there with the butter and the oil and the fats from the beef. And then we're going to add our beef broth. Just use the beef broth to scrape up the bit of fond on the bottom, all those little particles that have cooked down there, that nice consolidated flavor. We're just going to wait for this to come back up to heat. And if you're doing noodles with this, right about now is where I'd go ahead and probably start them. Just because it needs to simmer for probably about 15-ish minutes, which is usually enough for an egg noodle. So bring it up to a simmer and let it go for just another minute or two before we add the next ingredient. All right, now that our stroganoff is at a simmer, that's where we're going to go ahead and add our next ingredient, which is mustard. You can use any mustard you like. The classic way of doing it is Dijon. I typically like the stone ground, which can come in a Dijon flavor, but just mix that in and stir it every once in a while just so it doesn't stick to the bottom. But you're going to let it go for probably another 10-ish minutes before it will be all the way through. So for this recipe, it calls for Dijon mustard, and that Dijon mustard gives it that nice bite to it, a little bit of spiciness, and that's all because of the Dijon mustard having white wine in it. I'm using a whole grain mustard tonight, which is very similar to Dijon, but it doesn't have quite the same sharpness to it. But if you don't have Dijon, you can use whole grain. You can use yellow if you're in a pinch, but if you do, I'd recommend adding just like a tablespoon of a dry white wine with it, just to help it out and give it that little bit but if you want to omit the mustard altogether, that's fine. Make it however is going to taste good for you. I'm just giving you some options in case you want to make some alterations to the recipe. Okay, so to bring it up to simmer was about 5 minutes. Then we added our Dijon. It's been simmering for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and add our sour cream. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to add a little bit of paprika. All right, just make sure that you've been stirring every once in a while just so nothing sits too long on the bottom. And adjust your seasonings with salt and pepper. And then let's see what we got. All right, so our beef stroganoff is done. Simple meal, easy meal, done in 30 minutes or less. And it's great for a weeknight. So now that we have it, it looks beautiful. We got to taste it. And to do that, we're going to get our official food taster in here, Sous Chef Ender. Come on in, buddy.
Yum, yum. Mm.
What do you think?
I like the taste of it.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right.
Best friends ever.
Best friends forever, yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, simple, easy weeknight. Sous Chef Ender, why don't you tell them what to do?
Like, subscribe, and comment down below. And repost and follow us.
Good job. You heard the man. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, thanks for cooking with us.
Best friends forever.